Hello and welcome to Shoot the Hostage with me, Sarah, and my partner Dan. We're a movie podcast and we cover 8 films per season on a specific theme. Now, we swear, we chat major spoilers, and we occasionally cover triggering topics, so please do use listener discretion. If you like what we do and want to support us, consider hitting 5 stars on Spotify, or maybe subscribing or even reviewing on your platform of choice. We also have a Patreon with a free tier for lineups and updates, and 2 paid tiers with extra content and early ad-free uploads. Right, on with the show.
Okay, so we are working our way towards the end of your true crime season, Sarah.
Which you must be thrilled about.
Pretty thrilled, yeah. So the movie we're covering today is House of Gucci, which is both true and a crime.
In many senses of the word, yes.
I was going to say, take that how you want. You'll probably figure out how that's intended as the episode goes on. From my perspective, anyway, I'm super interested to see what your interpretation of this movie is, because we've not we sort of synced up, didn't we? Because we mentioned a few times, I'm in Morocco at the moment on a job. We're recording remotely at the moment, and we're watching the film separately. But we decided to sync up on this one and press play at the same time, and we were sort of texting each other as we were watching the film. But we haven't really spoken about it and our opinions about it other than that. But it is interesting because we've had a few very interesting conversations this season. We've spoken about the psychology of serial killers, cultural events, gender identity, domestic violence. And this time we're going to be talking about why Jared Leto is doing an impression of a Super Mario brother while in Jeffrey Tambor prosthetics.
That's just the question that everybody's asking, isn't it? It's just, why is Jared Leto? That's the entire question. Why?
That's a general question, I think, that you can apply to any area of life, really.
Yeah. Why? Why is Jared Leto?
Why is Jared Leto? Why is Jared Leto in this movie? And why is Jared Leto doing what he's doing in this movie? We'll maybe pick up that thread later on. First experience with the movie. This is not your first rodeo with House of Gucci, is it? You absolute insane person.
It sure isn't, no. I went to see this at the cinema, believe it or not.
You went without me, Sarah.
I did. I was like one of the 18 people globally that went to see this in a theatre. And I had no idea what to expect. I knew it was Ridley Scott, and I went to see it with a friend because I think we'd just decided we were going to go to the cinema, and that was perhaps the best of a bad bunch. Neither of us was particularly excited about it. And it was a baffling experience. It was a real head scratcher.
Okay.
And I've been sort of keen to not necessarily revisit it myself, but get your thoughts on it.
Great, thanks.
So this felt like the best way to do that, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm really grateful. I mean, I remember you going to see this, and I'm pretty sure I was like, yeah, I have no interest in watching that. That's all you.
Yeah, at which point I went, we'll see about that.
Yeah, you're going to force me to watch it. That's the bad thing about doing a podcast, isn't it? Where we swap seasons and choose films.
It is.
Sometimes you have to watch Driven, and sometimes I have to watch House of Gucci.
Yeah, and it becomes like a never-ending cycle of revenge.
Yeah. I feel like every time now, like my season is always in response to your season.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
What can I make Sarah watch this time?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But so obviously this was your first experience with House of Gucci.
Yeah,
So,
it was, yeah. As I said, we synced up and watched it at the same time. I think one of the first messages I sent to you when we pressed play was, this is 2 hours and 37 minutes long.
Yeah, in fairness, I had forgotten that this was quite a girthy film. This was that's an insane runtime for this movie. It didn't need to be that long.
Absolutely not. It did not need to be that long. It needed to be like a lot shorter. And
Like,
when I
if
say
it
a
was
lot shorter,
15 minutes, it would be too long.
if it was a trailer, I'd have been like, yeah, that's enough. That's fine.
So you loved it then?
Yeah, brilliant. It's my favorite Ridley Scott movie.
Yeah.
So you've seen it. It was the first time watch for me. It is based on an actual thing that happened, which I've
Mhm.
almost no knowledge about. I know that Maurizio Gucci was shot, and that's all I knew. I had no idea, spoilers, that his ex-wife, had arranged for the shooting. What did you know about it before watching the film?
The first time, almost nothing. And I came away knowing ever so slightly more than nothing.
I thought you was going to say you came away knowing less.
Yeah. Well, I'm still not very well versed in the crime, I'll be honest, but I know in terms of the family and the family dynamics that some liberties were taken, which I'm grateful for because I did read I saw like a family tree, and there were a lot, and I mean a lot of family members that were excluded from this film, which I'm
Okay.
so grateful for because it could have been like, I don't know, 7 hours long if they'd gone over everything and everybody. But I think the crime itself is portrayed fairly accurately.
Okay. It's funny, yeah, for such a long movie, the cast is relatively small. I would say it's an ensemble cast, but you've got
Yeah,
Adam Driver, Lady Gaga, um, Jeremy Irons, Al Pacino, and Jared Leto, and they're your main players. It's mostly Lady Gaga and Adam Driver
yeah.
in this, and I think Ridley Scott wanted to make this for quite a while.
Mm,
It is based on a 2001 book called The House of Gucci, a sensational story of murder, madness, and glamour, and
mhm.
greed, sorry, by Sarah Gay Forden. And from what I heard, Ridley Scott acquired the rights to the book in the early 2000s and was trying to get it made for a while through at various points in his career since then. And a few actors were kind of attached at various points. I think there was a Margot Robbie version at some point being shopped around. Perhaps Penelope Cruz. I heard Leonardo DiCaprio was attached at one point, I think. But by the time that I guess financing happened and it got greenlit, it was just after the last duel when Ridley had decided to make or got the go ahead to make this. Let's talk about Ridley. Can we talk about Ridley Scott?
I'd love
Because
to.
he's not a filmmaker we've ever spoken about before, is it? This is our first Ridley Scott film out of everything you can choose is House of Gucci, and
Yeah.
this is your choice. Ridley Scott. One of his favorite movies, incidentally, is Muriel's Wedding.
I love that. Yeah, I found that out
Yeah,
in an interview they did. It was just
yeah,
like, yes, my man.
yeah. And which I'm sure we'll get to at some point. He's directed over 40 movies and produced many, many more with Scott Free Productions, which he started with his brother Tony Scott. One of the movies they produced was Monkey Trouble, obviously, which is, I
Yep.
think, a movie we bonded over quite early in our dating. I was going to say career. That makes it sound very,
In our relationship career.
yeah, yeah. But he churns out movies very, very, very quickly, like unlike any other filmmaker. And it's really
Yeah.
impressive to see that his output level at the level that it is.
I feel like Osgood Perkins is currently trying to beat him, though.
Oh, really? Is he churning out a few at the moment?
It feels like he's doing 2 a year currently.
Is it only people that are involved with films that have the word monkey in it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, so I mentioned The Last Duel earlier. Ridley Scott was, because that was shot over the pandemic, I think. And when that was in post, he was prepping House of Gucci. And that's a common thing with a lot of his movies. He's very quick, very efficient with setups. He sets up multiple cameras at a time.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, and so it's really impressive. Like he says that he's got a very good eye, and it's true. You know, he directed commercials for the longest time. Was a bit of a late starter on feature films. I think his first film was The Duelist. But I guess working in adverts, I was going to say working in commercials maybe gave him the kind of the quick turnaround kind of persona that he's got while
Yeah,
making movies.
maybe.
But then again, I say David Fincher started in commercials, and he's the man that does 105 takes. So I would say Ridley Scott in many ways is the opposite of David Fincher.
And Kubrick.
Um, Kubrick, yeah. But he's very, so he does a lot of, he sets up multiple cameras at a time. So maybe there'll be six. I heard him talking about him having six cameras during a pivotal scene in a last duel, which I watched recently and I really liked.
Yeah, that's what
But
I'm meaning to get to, because I really like Jodie Comer, but I
yeah,
saw the trailer and Matt Damon looked like Theo Von, so I wasn't sure I'd be able to get through it without laughing. And that
look,
would have felt inappropriate given the topic.
look, I understand your protest, and also Ben Affleck in sandals. Just something about it just doesn't go. But for me, the film is so good that I very quickly forget about that stuff. So I was quite shocked by how much I liked that film, and it's a very interesting story and told in a very interesting way.
Okay.
But what I've learned about Ridley Scott this week is obviously I knew that he churned out movies very quickly, but how quickly he sets up his shots, he knows exactly where he wants the camera. He walks into a room, he does the setup, he does multiple cameras. So we're doing a couple of takes, and he gets all of the footage that he needs, which means that production is shorter, which means that he's really spending more time in pre-production because he will employ a writer to create what he's kind of looking for. Like he sets the milestones, he knows what he wants, and he gets a writer to do that. At the same time, we'll do his storyboarding. And as soon as they get on set, you can shoot and you're off. And then in post-production, he's prepping his next film. So super, super efficient and churning them out so quickly. And I think it's a good thing for his bank balance. But is it a good thing for cinema? Because is he a safe pair of hands? Is he a Ron Howard? I was
I
thinking
don't
about
think. Do you
this.
think Ron Howard's a safe pair of hands?
I think so. I think even
Do
films
you?
I think has Ron Howard made a bad movie?
Yeah.
What?
I watched one this year. It's called Eden.
Okay.
And then he did that. Didn't he do the J.D. Vance autobiography movie that got shat on?
Okay. I have not heard of this movie.
Oh
So,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm a Ron Howard hater. I'm sorry to say.
What?
I know.
Said no one ever
I
apart from
know.
Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah. It might just be me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I for the most part, I enjoy Ron Howard movies. I think a lot of the time, for me, they're decent movies. Not always the best.
Decent, yeah, but flavorless.
Maybe that's a fair comment. But I was thinking about Ron Howard in comparison to Ridley Scott, because I do feel like Ridley Scott is a pretty safe pair of hands. Like for the most part, I think his movies are decent. I haven't seen The Counselor, which is the one that a lot of people shit on.
I haven't
Have
seen
you
that
seen that?
either. No.
Okay.
It's funny you say that though, because like Ridley Scott to me could be mentioned amongst the greats, certainly of his generation. But then you look at his filmography and it's like, yeah, the thing about a Ridley Scott film is, he's the guy who directed Alien and Blade
Mm,
Runner, which I know you don't like, but is universally loved outside of you.
mm.
But he's also the guy that directed G.I. Jane. So I know what you're saying about Safe Pair of Hands, but I view it a little bit differently. I think it's sort of like he's kind of like a selection box.
Yeah.
It's difficult to predict what kind of film it's going to be, whether it's going to be an all timer or like or
Yeah.
a House of Gucci. You just don't know.
That's interesting because I don't really have an idea of how well his movies do outside of Gladiator. And, even Blade Runner was critically panned at the time when it came
Yeah.
out, and now is apparently the greatest movie ever made. It looks beautiful, the soundtrack is amazing, and it's responsible for so many amazing sci-fi movies and concepts that we've got since. But Ridley Scott, he brings out The Counselor. That comes out. Maybe it didn't do well financially. I don't really know. It definitely got critically panned, but maybe he's so far into the pre-production and maybe even production of another movie by the time that comes out. and maybe that movie hits. So studios don't really have the time to either do or not do his next film. He's just in production on the next one. So
Maybe that's why he does it.
maybe. I think maybe there might be some ADHD there or something going on. But what's my first question to you is, what is your favorite Ridley Scott movie?
Ooh. Oh gosh. I don't know. Is it basic of me to say Blade Runner?
Not if it's your favorite.
I think it might be.
Not over Alien.
Yeah, probably.
Really? I'm
And
very surprised.
I love Alien, but I think, I don't know. I know you think Alien's a bit boring, don't you?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just exposing you now. And I think you're right to prefer Aliens. But I do think Alien is an excellent movie. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think if I was to choose between, would I rather watch Alien or Blade Runner? It probably would be Blade Runner. But then there's stuff like
Okay.
Thelma and Louise. I don't know. What about you?
Well, I thought that you might say Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
You're right. I do prefer Aliens over Alien. And
Well, not most, but a lot of people do.
I think a lot of people do. I think most of those people, though, would say objectively maybe Alien is a better movie.
Yeah,
I
probably.
and they may be correct. I haven't seen the first Alien enough times to really form that opinion of it, because I do find it very dull, despite appreciating what it did for the genre. And similarly with Blade Runner, it's been maybe 5 or 6 years since I've tried to watch that, but every like 6-7 years I might try and put it on, and I don't get on with it. But maybe for me, Alien is Ridley Scott and Aliens is Tony Scott. Like I think I prefer on the whole Tony Scott's movies because they're more flavored down. Their action and their Tony Scott, I think, is maybe we spoke about this in one of our John Woo episodes, I think possibly, or a Michael Bay. But I think he set the template in the 80s for a lot of action movies that came later and we're still getting now. The Jerry Bruckheimer look. And
Yeah.
so I think Tony Scott is more sort of my flavour, but I do appreciate Ridley Scott's what he's done for the industry. I think he's a powerhouse, but his movies are not always for me. I think for me, my favourite might be The Martian.
I knew you were going to say that.
Did you?
Yeah, I
It's my favourite
suspected.
comedy. Yeah. No, I love it. I do. I find it so watchable.
It's my favourite movie where a man grows potatoes with his own shit.
Yeah. We could do an entire season of that. We'll finish on that one. I love that movie. I think it's so watchable. I think it's so entertaining. I think it's Matt Damon's best performance. I think he's very charming and interesting in that. Again, like it might be a taste thing that it's one man against the odds and he's got to figure things out for himself, which is a thing I identify with a lot.
And sci-fi.
And sci-fi, exactly. Yeah, Man Trapped on Mars. I think it might be that or possibly Black Hawk Down, which I do think is a superb movie.
Okay, you've mentioned that before, but I don't ever really see anybody else talk about it these days.
So, yeah, I mean, I remember that getting a lot of love and buzz when it came out, but you're right.
Yeah.
I don't see it getting mentioned very often now. I think it's one of the best war movies ever made. It's
Okay.
so intense and the production is insane. Ensemble cast again. I haven't seen it for 4 or 5 years, so maybe we could smash that on at some point.
Do you know, I've only seen it once, so I would be happy to revisit that.
I love that you said that because it's Christmas soon and we're going to have some downtime. So I believe my copy of Black Klansman arrived recently. So
Something came through the door.
yeah,
That's vaguely Blu-ray shaped. Yeah.
it's you know a Blu-ray when it arrives. It's in that little thin packaging. I've got 3 more.
I hear the thud on the doormat, and I'm like, oh. It's like
Do you know?
Pavlovian response.
I find it really disconcerting when you pick up the package. If you give it a little shake and you can hear the disc rattling around,
Yeah,
I
I'd
hate
hate
that because
that.
you're like, oh no, it might be scratched.
Oh, the little plastic teeth in the circle will be broken. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the little clamps that on the clasp, the clamshell case might be broken so the case doesn't close properly.
Yeah.
Oh no, our worst nightmare. Or what if you buy pre-owned and there's a label that you can't get off and there's the remnants, the sticky bits are still on there?
Don't. That's
These are
like
all
it's setting my teeth on edge just thinking about it.
these are all problems that we have to live with daily, but we find a way to get through.
What a hard life.
I've got 3 more Blu-rays arriving this week as well. I bet you can't guess what they are.
Are they connected to one another or 3
Y-
completely separate movies?
No, they're all connected.
Oh no.
Yeah, I went on a bit of a rampage the other night. I watched what did I watch? I watched The Color of Money and decided that Paul Newman is the coolest actor that ever lived.
Okay.
And then I found a documentary on Tubi called Winning, where I had no idea, but I found out that Paul Newman loved racing and was a motor racer and like raced cars all the time. And that's why he sort of fell off with acting. That sent me down a rabbit hole and I bought three racing documentaries.
Oh, good Lord. I'm not watching
Yeah.
those with you at Christmas.
No, you don't have to.
That's all
You don't
you.
have to. One of them's about Ferrari, actually. So I'm going to pull this back. One of them's about
Oh.
the legacy of Ferrari,
Okay.
which is something that Adam Driver got involved with when he made that Michael Mann movie. What was that movie called?
Fast Car.
Fast Car, yeah.
I can't remember. No, obviously it was called Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't good. That wasn't a good film.
No, I didn't love that. And it was Adam Driver doing an Italian accent.
Yeah. Who told him he could do that?
I guess Michael Mann and Ridley Scott.
Well, they immediately on my shit list now.
But not the worst accent in this movie, in House of Gucci.
No.
So what do you let's start with the cast, shall we?
Sure.
What do you think of the cast in general here? Good cast, bad cast, bit of both.
Adam Driver is fine. I think he's a little bit I'm starting to think he's a little bit overrated because he had a really good run. Obviously, he was in A Star War.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, got a lot of fame from those movies. He was great in Girls. He was really good in was it Marriage Story?
Yep.
With ScarJo. Yeah, he's done some excellent work, and then he had a really shitty run with like House of Gucci, Ferrari, Megalopolis.
Oh, I've tried to erase it from my brain. Yeah.
But he had a really bad run, like working with some all-time directors, but just garnering terrible performances in absolute turkeys. It doesn't seem to make much sense.
That's interesting. I don't know if I quite agree with terrible performances. I think Megalopolis was terrible all round.
Oh, everybody was
And
shit in that. Everything about that movie was terrible.
it was a very strange movie, which we actually have covered that, so you can go back and listen to our opinion if you so desire. But I think he's good in Ferrari, but I don't like what that movie's about. I think it's pretty dull. But I can see his appeal working with Francis Ford Coppola, working with Michael Mann, working with Ridley Scott, 3 of people that probably the most well-known and prolific directors, some of the most prolific directors in the industry. And I actually think he's good in this. I
Okay.
don't mind his performance. I think I think another actor might have gone overboard with a performance in this, and maybe someone did in this movie. But I think that he's subtle enough. And one of the things about this movie that I do like is the performances from the main 2, Adam Driver and Lady Gaga particularly, I think is very, very good in this.
Look, preaching to the choir. I am a Lady Gaga fan. I like a lot of her music. She seems insane, but nice, if that makes sense. Like she seems really inclusive and she's got a chronic illness, like an invisible disability that she has talked about publicly. And I don't know, if you look at clips, like when she first sort of came onto the scene, there's a clip with, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's interviewing her and just saying, and what do you think about people online who are saying that, you've got a penis, that you might be trans? And this is sort of going back like 15 years. And she's just like, so what? Maybe I do. And I just she's so cool.
Yeah.
I love her. And honestly, I can understand why people don't like her acting, but I think that's more to do with the project she's been associated with. Like, a lot of people hated House of Gucci, a lot of people hated Joker 2. I think it's more about the projects and less about her, because actually I think she is a pretty good actress.
I think she's been great in everything that I've seen.
She
I
was
didn't see
brilliant in A
much of
Star Is Born.
Star Is Born. She was absolutely knockout. Yeah, she was great. And I haven't seen much of that show. What's it called? The horror show, House of um,
Oh, American Horror Story.
American Horror Story. Yeah, I
Bringing
think
it
I
back to
saw.
Tony Scott, because that season fully ripped off the hunger.
Right. Okay. I saw. Is she only in one season of that, or is she
Yeah,
in all of
yeah.
them? Oh, I thought she was in all of them for some reason.
I
Maybe
think it's just
because I've.
Hotel.
Okay, that must be the one that I saw then.
Mm.
Because they reuse a lot of the same actors, don't they,
Hmm.
in that show? And every season is an anthology thing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, she was very good in A Star Is Born. Joker 2, I'd actually forgotten about. I don't really remember what I thought about her performance in that, but it's a movie that I didn't like at all. So I'm probably just trying to block it out of my memory to a degree.
Yeah.
But I thought she was great in this. I thought it was a really interesting portrayal of a real person that committed this horrible crime, but she made the character, she humanized that character enough for me to go, oh, I can understand the steps here. And I was a bit worried at the start of the movie when Jeremy Irons, who I had no idea he was in this movie, I was quite pleasantly surprised.
In John Waters cosplay.
Yeah. Yeah. I was because he has a line of dialogue at the start of the movie where he's saying that he thinks that Patrizia, that was
Hmm.
her name, he thinks that she's a gold digger, and I was a bit worried that that was going to be the thread of the movie. That at the end it was going to be, look, see, we were right, women are gold diggers,
Yeah.
but it wasn't that. And I think a lot of that is because of Lady Gaga's performance. I'm sure a lot of that was
Mm.
on the page, but I felt connected enough to her as a human, and seeing her trajectory from the start of the movie to the end of the movie and how she got to where she got. I saw a lot of that nuance in the performance, and it was interesting that she was sort of fighting I'm sure a lot of misogyny at that time. There was that scene when she's walking on the truck yard, and at the start of
Oh
the movie with
God, the
everyone whistling and
cat
whistling. And,
calling in slow
yeah,
mo, which was a little
yeah.
bit romanticized for my liking.
It was a bit, yeah, but it did make me think about that character having to in a very male dominated industry, uh, trucking. Um, like I imagine as a woman in that kind of industry, you have to have a very thick skin.
Mm.
It's like I worked in construction for 15 years, and there were very few women in construction at that time. It may have changed now, but I doubt it's changed significantly.
I mean, I
But
worked for a builder's merchant for a couple of years as well. So
well, you know as well then. So you had to
yeah.
deal with a lot of builders, and a
Oh
lot of
yes.
builders are maybe 25 years behind us in terms of culture. And I think as a woman in that kind of industry, you have to put up with a lot of shit. So you have to have quite a thick skin and probably be a bit more aggressive
Mm.
because, like like for me as a guy working in the industry, I don't have to be as aggressive because people just accept what I'm saying. Whereas a woman might have to fight for her voice to be heard a bit more. So, and that gets judged as well. Like it's kind of a no-win situation.
Yeah, if
So
you're
I
if
think
you're too assertive, you're a bitch.
exactly my point. Yeah. So I was a bit worried that that's where this film was going. So I was
Mm.
very pleasantly surprised that it didn't really labour that point, and you saw her journey as a human throughout. I mean, let's be honest, not a great person. She did murder someone, but
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
interesting that Lady Gaga managed to make me empathize with that person. Even though I didn't like her, I did find her portrayal very interesting,
Yeah,
and I
I
was
would say
surprised.
I was fully team Patrizia. To me, that this is in the canon of films that you might call good for her.
Okay. I mean,
Like
she's out now.
Midsummer.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No,
Um,
I completely agree. I completely agree. And from what I've read, that was her intention, was to humanize Patrizia as much as she possibly could. And also to make the portrayal as realistic as she could, because she apparently spoke in that accent for 9 months solidly, which I sort I sort of understand. Like, you want to do a good job, you want to represent a culture in a certain way. I get it, but that does sort of tip a little bit too far into method acting for me, which I tend to associate with dickheads like Jared Leto.
With Jared Leto. I don't mind method acting as long as it's not affecting anyone else. And I can understand the accent because you want to stay in it, you don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you came home from work every day and you're speaking in an Italian accent, it would drive me mad.
Boof.
But
My favorite line in this movie, by the way.
boof. Yeah. But I thought Gaga was great in this. I thought Adam Driver was great as well.
I think he was okay.
And I was very surprised about how it feels weird to say that Al Pacino gave a subtle performance. It
in
wasn't.
This movie of all movies.
I wouldn't quite go as far as to say it was subtle, but for an Al Pacino performance, it was subtle.
On a sliding Pacino scale, and especially when he's acting opposite Leto for the bulk of his scenes, like, yeah, it's going to come across as one of the more subtle performances, for sure.
And maybe that's why it came across more subtle, because maybe he was like, he saw what Leto was doing and he was like, I can't do regular Al in this scene.
Yeah.
I can't do a Heat situation.
Well, did you hear that when Jared Leto approached him for the first time on set, like day one, he turned up and looked at Al Pacino and was like, "Papa!" And Al Pacino was like, "Who is this fucking clown?"
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Jared Leto apparently lobbied for this role. He
Why?
contacted Ridley Scott and was like, is the Maurizio role cast? He was like, yes. He's like, okay, I'd love to play Paolo then. I'd love to play Paolo. But I don't, listen, it's just something that we've spoken about a lot. Like, why Jared Leto is casting things, I do not know, because I don't think I just see too much Jared Leto whenever he's doing a character in a film.
Yeah, these days particularly.
Yeah, earlier days, it was fine before we knew how much of an arsehole he was.
Yeah, like
But
we covered
now,
Requiem for a Dream not that long ago, and he's actually pretty great. Everybody's great in that movie.
yeah,
But then since then, particularly like the last decade, ugh, gross.
yeah.
Get him away
It,
from me.
I don't want to see him on screen. So
No.
on the one hand, I was glad of the prosthetics, because when the scene where he's introduced and they're playing rugby in suits or something, and the camera,
It's a specific Italian game that I'm
right?
not going to try to pronounce, but apparently it's one
Okay,
of the most violent games ever, because like punching and kicking are completely legal within the game.
really?
Yeah.
I thought Battle Royale was the most violent game ever.
I thought roller derby.
Roller derbies, yeah, it's very close. But the first time we're introduced to that character is him playing that sport, and he's lying on the ground, and the camera just sort of zooms up to him. Did he say "papa" then?
Yeah, I think he might.
I think that's his first line as well. He says "papa," and I looked at him and I genuinely was like, I didn't know Jeffrey Tambor was in this.
Yeah, you text me that. You were like, I thought that was
Yeah.
Jeffrey Tambor.
And then I was like, oh no, that's Jared Leto.
Yeah, it's the eyes.
Yeah. It is. It was the area around the eyes that gave it away for me. But it took me a minute, and I, on the one hand, I'm like, oh, good. It's hard for me to recognize Jared Leto. That's a good thing. But then you see more of his performance, and then there's that scene where they're in the room talking about the future of the company, where Maurizio is trying to, or Patrizia is trying to reintegrate Maurizio back into the Gucci family. And then Jared Leto's doing his accent. And it's so bizarre. I have a problem with everyone doing accents in this movie anyway, because they're just get Italian actors and speak Italian, please.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone back and forth on this. This was something I was thinking about while watching it as well, because much like you, my instinct is, why the fuck are they all speaking English? This makes no sense. It's set in Italy. It's populated by Italian people. But then obviously there's the additional thing of like, yeah, but it's a Ridley Scott film. He's not Italian. He's probably not fluent in Italian, so that would make life difficult. But Gareth Evans doesn't speak Indonesian, and he made one of the best action films of the last few decades. So it's doable.
Get yourself an Italian AD. Done.
Yeah. Yeah, strange choices. But I guess they wanted stars. And I mean, can you name any internationally recognizable Italian actors? I would struggle.
Where's Javier Bardem from?
Well, with a name like Javier, I'm guessing like Spain or Mexico. Like,
I sound like a complete moron now. But look, we're always casting Spanish people as Italians, aren't we? See Super Mario Brothers, see Summer of Sam, so it's fine. No, I thought it was bizarre. It threw me off center a little bit when everyone's doing an accent. These obviously American people. Some of the accents were better than others. I thought Lady Gaga's accent was very good. I'm not an expert at accents. You're more in tune with that. But I had a problem with that as a start, and then especially when the adverts are in Italian. I didn't understand why we were doing that. What was it? It just highlighted it even more to me when Salma Hayek as the psychic, she's doing an advert in Italian. I thought that was bizarre.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that either. But Lady Gaga's real name is Stephanie Germanotta, and she does actually have like an Italian-American background. So it sort of stands to reason that her accent would be more credible than the others, maybe.
Okay. But then you have, why is Jared Leto doing that really stereotypical, super pronounced, just strange choice for an accent? And why is Ridley Scott okay with that? I've got a question about what was intentional in this film and what wasn't. So
go for it, because I've partially got an answer.
Okay, so I've got a question for you. What was intentional or what wasn't? Because some of this film to me really comes across as a satire.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was an interesting way to go, but then other areas it doesn't. And that's one of my problems with it, is it feels very uneven.
Yeah.
So was the Jared Leto thing part of the try to highlight some kind of absurdity? But I don't know. It feels like a hate crime. Like it doesn't fit.
I think he should be barred from entering Italy forever.
He should be barred from entering anything.
Well, yeah. Specifically women.
Any human. Let's go one further. So was that? Were we okay with that accent because we were trying to underline some kind of absurdity and satire situation here? Was that intentional on Ridley Scott's part?
So I couldn't find anything from the horse's mouth, but I did read online that there's I don't even know what to call it. There's like an Italian genre called comedia dell'arte, which is almost like, the impression that I got is kind of like, these like Spanish telenovelas that you see people watching in other films and TV. It's like daytime soap opera.
Yeah.
It's all really big and theatrical. My impression is that it's the Italian version of that.
Mm.
And so they were sort of heavily leaning into that for this movie. So while I wouldn't say it's supposed to be satirical, I definitely think it's bordering on parody in some places, which could account for the larger than life performances. But also Jared Leto's just shit.
Yeah. Without question. Yeah.
But also I think that does kind of explain some of the reactions, some of the other elements of the performances. Like, I don't know, the Maurizio performance is mind-blowing to me in some regards, because he's so weird and childlike at the beginning. I don't know if the actual guy was a bit odd or I don't know, a bit shy, a bit unsure of himself. But just the scene where he's kind of riding his bike right at the beginning and doing the kind of childlike, look, mum, no hands kind of thing, and
Yeah.
having a whale of a time. I don't know. It's very like infantilized.
Well, it's. I think that it's interesting you bring up that scene because the movie is bookended by that scene,
Yeah.
and it's one of those movies that covers a long period of time, like 20 years, something.
Hmm.
So I gather that Adam Driver, 48-year-old Adam Driver, was meant to be playing 19-year-old Maurizio or something.
Yeah.
So
Plausible.
yeah, just get a different actor. Like
Yeah.
there's that. But that was another thing that I had a problem with. I was having problems tracking the what was happening and the transitions of the time period. The soundtrack helps a lot with that. And I'm
Mm.
sort of going all over the place at the moment. So I want to kind of stick with what was intentional, what wasn't
Okay.
for the moment.
Sure.
But I think that was I had real problems trying to figure out what was intentional and what wasn't. Because on the one hand, you've got master filmmaker Ridley Scott who knows what he's doing.
Hmm.
And I enjoyed parts of this movie and I hated other parts of it.
Yeah. I think
And
that's a pretty common experience.
it was really hard for me to wrap my head around what was intentional, what wasn't, because you've got, I think, very good performances from Adam Driver and Lady Gaga, in my opinion. And you have this larger than life performance from Jared Leto. And the two are such opposites for me that they don't feel like they're in the same movie.
Mm.
So I don't like that felt so uneven to me. If it had been pure satire, pure stupidness, pure Paul Verhoeven, I might, you mentioned Showgirls, perfect example. Like that would be way more interesting to me. Or go the other way where you're just doing a true retelling. I don't know why we're doing kind of a mixture of both. It feels silly to me.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
And on the another hand, I'm watching this movie going, I think this movie is quite shit. Why am I enjoying it so much?
Well, that's sort of the puzzling experience that I had with it the first time around.
Mm,
I will say now I enjoyed it much more on second viewing than I did the first time because I was just so confused the first time around, much like you. Like you've just said, you didn't know what tone it was trying to hit. Some stuff landed, some stuff didn't land, and it does seem a little bit confused. So I was just puzzled
mm.
the whole way through. And then the second time, I knew what to expect. So I was really enjoying myself.
I had a feeling that this might be coming up because I saw your letterbox score. And this is one of those movies where I really struggled to score because I thought it was quite bad.
Yeah,
With
that's fair.
flourishes of brilliance, like there was some stuff that I really liked, but I thought it was quite bad. But I did enjoy a lot of it, not all of it. But it's one of those where it's like, do I score this objectively or subjectively? And I don't know. I'll probably land somewhere in the middle. I'm not sure, but I think that like the satirical element was definitely intended, but I kind of wish that we'd either pushed that more with some of the other performances and made it more garish. And I think it was going for quite an in your face kind of style, but I thought that we could have gone way further with it. I thought it looked, in terms of costume design, I thought it was very, very good.
I
It
loved
had
the
to be that
costuming.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very period appropriate.
Mm.
Not my cup of tea, aesthetically speaking, but I think it looked great for what it was trying to do. And
Yeah.
it's a story about a family of fashion people, if that's the term. So it has to be. It'd be a crime if the costumes weren't great. But then on the other hand, I thought the colorization of the project was really badly. Like, I don't know if it was badly done, but I did not like it. I thought the color was
Yeah.
so muted and washed out, and it seemed like it was the opposite of what this story should be. It should be really colorful, really in your face, and pop on the screen, and it didn't. The costume choices really worked against the gradient of the film, as far as I could tell. Like, I don't know, it looked kind of ugly to me. I thought it kind of reminded me of a war film in some respects.
Wow. Yeah. In many respects.
Yeah,
Came away from it traumatized,
it's
just
a
in a
war
completely
crime.
different
Yeah.
way. Yeah, I don't know. I it's So the look of the film isn't necessarily something I'd even considered until you mentioned it as we were watching it.
Mm.
And so I have been thinking about it the past few days. I didn't necessarily notice the desaturation, but thinking about it now, I do agree that that sort of works in the film's. It works against the film, I think, because especially if you're leaning so heavily into this comedia dell'arte style,
Mm.
you'd think if it was sort of trying to parody that kind of daytime soap opera that it would pop with so much color it would be offensive.
Yeah.
Whereas this swung completely the other way, which
Yeah.
and it's almost clinical in a lot of scenes, like quite sterile.
Yeah.
Which
I agree with that 100%.
yeah, the sterile kind of atmosphere I would associate more with a standard true crime retelling, but
Mm.
it didn't fit here. So yeah, I completely agree with you.
No, it didn't feel like it fit with the style of what
Mm.
some of this movie was doing. It felt in
Yeah,
the complete opposite of some of that. So I have a real problem reconciling what this film is, and that's
yeah.
part of my problem with it. If it would have gone full camp, full color, full large performances, I may have accepted that Jared Leto performance a bit more because I was laughing at that performance. Like I had a good time watching it, but
Yeah.
not in a way that I think this is a good performance. I was just scratching my head going, what are you fucking doing, you
Oh
absolute
yeah.
lunatic?
Laughing
But I
at him, not with him.
precisely, and I was enjoying it on a the room level, that
Yeah.
performance, in a Tommy Wiseau way. So I just wish it would have done that more. Cut off 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and
Oh
make it
yeah.
larger.
I would say it's funny you say that because you're normally the one who like favors a more brief runtime, whereas this
Mm.
time I'm like take an hour out, just get rid of an
Yeah,
hour. We don't
yeah,
need it all. Shorten the opening sections, like
mm,
where we see them sort of meet again, more disco, like last week, where they meet
yeah.
at the Eyes Wide Shut disco, whatever the fuck that was. And honestly, yeah, cut an hour out.
Cut an hour out. It's weird because I imagine that the book does. They're probably trying to capture the essence of how the book was told,
Hmm.
and it probably works a lot better in the book because you've got that time to develop all of this stuff that we're talking about, and maybe it just doesn't translate to the screen as well.
Maybe.
But I found it odd that you would be telling this story about someone that was murdered, but then trying to layer on this satire and this absurd kind of these absurd performances in some areas, in one area. Um, it felt a bit disrespectful to me. And like, I don't have any, I don't give a fuck about fashion. Like, I think it's insane that people would pay any more than 25 quid for a t-shirt.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
it's stupid. I don't get labels at all. But I do enjoy aesthetics. I do like. I think that you can look good on a budget, and why not? As long as you're not exploiting people, I guess. But that's another conversation. Perhaps let's not get into that. But it's about like a family that I knew nothing about, don't really care about, and this thing fashion that I don't care about. I can understand why you would want to parody that and maybe underline the ridiculousness of it, but then also, in contrast to that, it feels like we're going, isn't fashion cool? And look how beautiful it is. So I don't, again, like
Yeah.
unevenness there. Like, what are we doing? But what's the I had a real problem trying to understand what Ridley Scott's perspective was for this movie. And that was a problem. That was a big problem for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost as if he didn't have one,
Yeah.
which I think is part of the problem. It definitely seemed. Did it definitely? Yeah, I would say it's definitely more sympathetic to Patrizia's perspective
Yeah.
because, as you've said, a large part of that is Lady Gaga's excellent performance, or, well, committed performance, let's say that.
Mm.
And obviously, you do see Adam Driver's character kind of becoming more of a dickhead, I
Yeah.
guess. Like he's getting wrapped up in the money and he's starting to get greedy. He's starting to take things for granted a little bit more. So it sort of feels like a pro Patrizia perspective.
Yeah.
but I'm not sure of that. So it's not dealt with brilliantly because I don't know.
I think this is my problem. Like,
Yeah, it feels
I
a bit
don't know.
muddled.
Maybe this will be a Showgirls, and in 30 years' time there'll be a
Yeah.
documentary about it, and they'll go, well, actually, it was actually a genius movie that no one understood.
Yeah.
And you can like, it grows with you, like
Yeah.
a good Verhoeven movie, like you watch it at different stages in your life, and actually it means different things at different points.
And actually, Adam Driver was robbed of the Oscar.
Yeah, I don't know, but that lack of kind of focus really takes me out of it. And not to say that I didn't enjoy parts of this, like I said, I did, but I think if they'd have just lent more into the satire, more into the parody aspect of it, because you mentioned that Maurizio's arc there, going from kind of a bit removed from the family and understanding how stupid it is to put so much stock into what you wear, what you drive, how much money you've got in your bank account. He almost had, for me, the opposite of a good arc, because he started off in a place that I identified with him, and he ended in a place where, oh, you've fallen for it now.
And he
I can
started off
understand.
much happier.
Exactly. And I guess that's part of it as well. Like, he was sort of right when he started the movie. His opinion was correct. But
Yeah,
the more...
he was having a whale of a time having that hose fight.
Yeah, he loved it. Like, just spraying...
Not a euphemism.
But maybe euphemism, maybe metaphor.
Also maybe, yeah.
I suppose it's that age-old story. Absolute power corrupts. I can't remember the
Absolutely.
last part of that phrase. Yeah, absolutely. That's it. It's that classic story. It's that Shakespearean kind of thing. It's very Shakespearean. Like, there's a lot of elements to this movie that are. It's a very old story in many ways. So that was kind of interesting. Maybe we could have gone further with the absurdity. Like, I would have enjoyed that, I think. I did enjoy that as Maurizio enters the third act, he just tries to escape the situation on a motorbike. That made me laugh.
Run away!
Run away. But that felt like such a jump to me from where he was. Like, I didn't see enough growth of that character. It's like we spend an hour of him going, oh, I don't like money, I don't like my family. And in the next 10 minutes, there's an office, there's a big house, and now you're an asshole.
That's it. And when the film is this long, there's plenty of time for all of these elements to have room to breathe.
Yeah.
And yet, I don't think Ridley Scott used that time wisely enough.
I would agree. I like, that's part of the reason why I was very confused when it got to the third act and he's just trying to escape and start a new life in Switzerland. I was like, how did we get here? Like, why are they being investigated now? And there was a 15-minute period there that I think should have been the middle of the movie, basically. Maybe the beginning was too long and the end was too long. Maybe that middle section, that second act, should have been stretched a little bit further into the first act and the final act a bit.
Yeah, I agree. Because you've got the meeting, you've got like the first hour, which fleshes out their relationship a little bit. Also, have two people ever had less chemistry? It was never going to work.
Yeah.
Terrible. And then, like you say, you've got this bit in the middle where things are not so great. And then, oh, he's taken up skiing. Okay.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Yeah. He's taken up skiing and now he hates his wife all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That was very, very jarring to me. Like, I would like this movie to have been shorter, but I think what I really mean is it should have even been an hour longer or an hour shorter. Like, I don't want to watch a 3.5 hour version of this, but I think if you're going to do that first act and really flesh out all of these characters in an hour, then I think the second and third acts needs to do that justice. It's like we spent all of this time setting things up, and then we just went, now they're all things are going mad, and don't worry about the details.
Oh, she's enlisted a TV psychic played by Salma Hayek. Okay.
Surprise, Salma Hayek, by the way. Didn't know she was in this. Very, very happy when she appeared on screen.
I bet you were, yeah.
Oh, Lady Gaga, Salma Hayek in a mud bath, you say? Best scene of the movie? I was like, well, what is happening here? Why are we rubbing each other on the face with mud?
The best scene in the movie was Al Pacino going, "What is this?"
Okay.
The best line delivery in the entire film, I have to say.
Yeah.
That was a strange That was a strange choice. I mean, obviously the character of Pina was taken from real life,
Yeah,
so that it makes sense as to why she was included. But
yeah.
yeah, very strange tangent.
Yeah, I'm it's not to say that I didn't enjoy that character. I'm always happy when Salma Hayek pops up on screen, but just an odd scene to have that just like
Mm.
mud bath out of nowhere. Like, but I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. Aesthetically speaking, it was good, nice to look at. Don't get me
Maybe
wrong.
that was the purpose then, to
Yeah,
bring back the focus of all the men in the room whose attention spans had drifted.
yeah, yeah. I'll rewind that bit, would you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. My focus was brought back into the room when Maurizio bought that Lamborghini Countach.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And I thought that, interestingly, not the last time we're going to see a Lamborghini Countach in this season.
Cryptic.
My second favorite car of all time, and you've picked two movies with that car in. But yeah, and then there's the other film that's in maybe does this a bit better for me. But I would really like to have seen more of that underlining of how ridiculous the pursuit of these material things is.
Mm.
There's a bit of that in this, but it's like I said, it's that towards the end of that middle act where Adam Driver just goes, "I think I love being rich now,"
Yeah.
and buys a fast car, and then that's it. He's a different character.
Yeah, it does seem
Um,
like too much of an abrupt character 180. I agree.
yeah, yeah. And I would maybe like to have seen a bit more than that, more of the allure, the kind of if we're going to reference Star Wars, his turn to the dark side, if you like. Um, I think it might have been more interesting to see that play out a bit better. But as you say, maybe we are focusing on the Patrizia side of things more, and maybe let's do that. Maybe let's choose one thing and not trying to do 12 things at once, a bit like the Summer of Sam, which we spoke about
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago. So that I had a problem with that, trying to do too many things. But Summer of Sam, infinitely better movie than House of Gucci.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Objectively
Yeah,
better than House of Gucci.
I think so.
Well, if I said to you, we got to watch one film tonight, House of Gucci or Summer of Sam, which one would you choose?
Summer of Sam,
Yeah, okay,
obviously.
okay. Are they about the same length? I mean, Summer of Sam is
It's
slightly
not much
shorter.
in it, yeah.
It's about 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. I think I might struggle with that a bit more because if you just said, right, we're gonna drink a bottle of wine each, we're gonna get absolutely hammered. There's some popcorn. I might say to you, let's watch House of Gucci because
Oh, if I was drunk, that's a different question.
it's a more fun experience.
Yeah.
I haven't got to think about it. I just point at the screen and go, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you bring up a good point. If I was
yeah.
drinking, that might be a different answer then. What you mentioned the soundtrack,
Mm.
and that being helpful in helping you sort of establish the timeline. I do believe the real timeline was truncated a little bit. The years were a little bit fudged because apparently they did meet earlier. But I kind of hate the soundtrack.
Why do you hate it? Too obvious?
Not too obvious, just insane. When was it George Michael started playing
Yeah.
Faith? I was just like, what the fuck is this? It's such an odd soundtrack.
Yeah, I think the thing is on with films like this, biopics in general, period pieces, Scorsese is the ultimate at choosing a song that fits that period of time and tells you exactly where we are,
Mm.
as long as it's by the Rolling Stones. But I think we've tried to do something similar here, and you're trying to introduce these needle drops. Blue Monday was in there, which is
Yeah, that's a
probably
banger.
my all-time favorite song. Possibly it's in the top
Wow.
five for sure. I'm just looking up the soundtrack here. A lot of them I actually don't know. I never heard of. Faith, obviously, you've mentioned already by Limp Bizkit. Um, on the radio, Donna Summer, don't know that.
Yes, you do.
Do I? Heart of
Yeah.
Glass, Blondie. Yeah, okay. Um, David Bowie. There was some Bowie in there.
There's always Bowie.
Yeah,
There's a Bowie song on every soundtrack. Prove me wrong.
I think you're right. Yeah, I didn't. It's not the soundtrack is not something that I took issue with really.
I
I mean,
thought
I
there was some
loved.
insane choices.
Like, for instance,
Well, just some really odd needle drops. The way in which the music was used, the way in which it was utilized was just odd. But then again, I guess if we're approaching this from the angle that the parody element was sort of intentional, I have less of an issue with it.
yeah.
But otherwise, I thought some of the needle drop moments were kind of odd.
Yeah, okay.
Do you have like a favorite scene or a favorite line from this movie?
Mud bath.
See, mine would be the one where Jared Leto gets rugby tackled.
At the start of the movie.
Yeah, like if I
Yeah.
had a VHS, that would be the point at which it would gone fuzzy from being rewound.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't really thought about favourite scenes in this, honestly, or favourite line. I don't think, honestly, like a joke's about the mud bath scene, but I don't think I really do have one. I don't really feel strongly enough about this movie, if I'm being honest, to have a really solid opinion of a favourite or least favourite scene. It's weird because I have been trying to think about this film a lot, but I keep getting
Sorry.
distracted by other things. And it's like, I've got to think about this movie and think about what my opinion is. And then I'm like, oh, but I might have a green tea.
But I
and
don't
forget
want
about
to.
it. I'm just having trouble thinking about it. I don't like it's not interesting enough for me to want to unpack it. Although there's stuff in it that is interesting and some of it is fascinating. But my biggest question is just why? And it's one of those that I'm never going to find out the answers to it. So why fucking bother thinking about it? So I haven't even considered what my favourite scene is, but I'm going to stick with mud bath. Mud bath or Lamborghini. Or actually, I had no idea that Tom Ford was in this movie. And he also makes movies, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
He makes movies and T-shirts. That's what I heard.
Yes. And also maybe perfume?
Okay, probably.
Yeah.
And cars? He started that car company, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that film about him, Ford v Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's him and Adam Driver again.
Yeah. Because Adam drives cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Driver drives cars that are, as long as they're Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of favourite lines.
Are they all Jared Leto lines?
They're not actually, no. One, I can't remember who said it because I wrote this down when I watched it a week ago. But my favourite ever line is just, we both know he's blind in one eye and deaf in the other. Just like, everybody's deaf in their eyes. It's not what your eyes are for. What a stupid statement.
I mean, that must have been a Paolo line.
Probably. Yeah. If not by him, about him.
Yeah.
And then another one was just at the beginning, and I think it might have been Jeremy Irons, who just said, I think she wants your money. And all I could think at that point was, well, it's not his sparkling personality or sweet dance moves, is it?
Yeah.
I think
it's
that
not
was
those bicycle clips.
Yeah. I think that was something the film did particularly poorly, and that was showing us why Patrizia would have been drawn to this man in the first place.
Yeah.
Because it did sort of make her look a bit like a gold digger in that regard. Because why else?
Yeah. I suppose.
Oh, he made a decent cocktail, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the start of the movie, he's drinking a little coffee, goes on his bicycle. Maybe it's because he was a bit of a daredevil. No hands on the wheels, on the
That must have been
handlebars.
it, yeah.
Likes to take risks. And his life is really that subtle bookend that I mentioned earlier. At the start of the movie, he's happy and he's riding a bicycle with no hands. And then at the end of the movie, when he hasn't got anything, all he's got at the end of the movie is $170 million in the bank, but he's happy because he hasn't got any money anymore, just that 170 million. But he holds his hands off the handlebar. And that, what I thought in that scene, and I don't know if you picked up on this, and probably no one else watching this movie picked up on this either, but that ending was linking back to the start of the movie, where he was happy.
Oh, that's so clever.
Right? Okay, so I'm glad that I'm explaining this and you're getting it. And you're welcome if you're listening, because that end part of the movie is trying to say that he was much happier when he didn't have anything. When he just had $170 million. And that's all you need. You just need a bicycle,
and $170 million.
And $170 million.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the
And then
moral of this story.
if you get a bullet in the chest, you might be a bit unhappy after that.
Yeah.
But you've died a happy man, and that's what's important. And I thought that was interesting bookend in this movie. The subtlety there was so like a visual like metaphor, if you like, linking to the two parts. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but basically what you're doing is you're having a scene at the start of the movie,
Oh
and you're
no,
having a scene at
he's gone full Stuart Lee.
you're having a scene at the end of the movie. We call that a bookend. If you're in the industry, then that's a term that you'll probably hear quite a lot as you get into the industry more and more. And you might have heard it before, but you probably didn't understand it. But we call it a bookend, you see, and it links back to the start of the movie and the end of the movie. So there's sort of they start and finish in the same place.
Oh, I
if you
see.
like,
Like actual bookends. Oh,
like a
I get
bookend.
it
Yeah.
now. I get it. Yeah. Thank you
Okay.
so much for explaining
You're
that.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
I learn something
And
new every week.
I think we'll probably start to see that more and more as more movies come out. They'll
Yeah.
see this movie and go, "Oh, we should do that."
Because there haven't been that many movies up to now.
No, there's been like 9 films,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
at time of recording. Anyway, it's probably been more out since by the time this episode comes out. But I think you'll probably start to see that more and more.
Yeah.
People will watch House of Gucci and go, "I love this bookend idea. I think that we should try that in our movie," and they'll never do it as well. It will never be as successful because the first time that you see something
He's
is always the
perfected it.
best.
Ridley Scott
He's
perfected it.
he's pioneered it and he's nailed it. And whether that was on a page or not, I don't know. But he probably came up with that idea. He was like, "What I want to do is
because Tom Savini actually invented it.
Tom Savini invented." Yeah, I mean that goes without saying. We all know that Tom Savini invented all things.
Yeah.
He was the creator of the universe, and whatever happens in Tom Savini's universe is ultimately his intention. Like Savini moves in mysterious ways, is that old saying. But
I'm going to cut you off now. I'm going to cut you off because it's gone on for too long. And
they've already switched off.
we need to start wrapping up. But I did just remember one more scene that I absolutely adored. And I think this is probably my favorite and a really, really good example of how important editing is to a film. And that was the scene when Jared Leto's character goes to yell, but it cuts to a car horn.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, actually. That was great. That was very funny.
Like, there's no way you can look at that scene and not assume that some of it is supposed to be comedic.
Yeah. That's a comedy cut. That's a classic comedy edit. Yeah, you're right.
100%. But yeah, I think ultimately by the end of the film, I think you're right. I think they sort of went a little bit too po-faced. And the assassination was played out as though there should have been some emotional heft. But I just didn't care at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit.
It was sort of the least interesting part of the film, wasn't it, in many ways?
Yeah.
And you almost could have just left that out entirely.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel like that this movie, that's where it was leading. And the most interesting part had already happened, the progression of the character. You've got to have it there because otherwise, what are we doing? How is this film getting financed and made? So I guess you have to have it there, but it was kind of like it got to that point and I was like, yeah, I don't care about this.
I think Ridley Scott was probably thinking along the lines of, if I don't include the assassination, how on earth will Shoot the Hostage podcast include it in their true crime season?
Yeah.
So that was probably for our benefit, right?
And do you know what? I think I don't know if it would have been more respectful or less tasteful if we'd have just finished on Adam Driver with the bookend scene. He lifts his hands off the handlebars on his bike. We cut to black and it just says Maurizio Gucci was assassinated 5 minutes later. Maybe that's more disrespectful. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I might have enjoyed that a bit more, I think.
I think instead of fading to black, it should just freeze frame on him on the bike.
Maybe freeze frame, like he hits a curb and then he starts going over the handlebars because he wasn't holding on. Because on the one hand, it's fun to not like hang on to the handlebars.
But there's a safety issue. Yeah.
There is a safety issue. And we're setting the wrong example for children here.
Yeah.
In my cycling proficiency tests, this film wasn't shown.
No. But ultimately, the film is over. We've all had that experience, and we're left with the sage advice from Paolo to never confuse shit with chocolate, which is something I like to live my life by. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's something that I think Danny Boyle already realised that when he made Trainspotting.
Yeah.
I hope so, anyway, because they thought that they're all swimming in chocolate.
Mm.
Yeah, that is a very. We should put that on a T-shirt, maybe.
Merch drop.
Yeah. You shouldn't confuse shit with chocolate.
Well, the
And
implication
maybe...
there is that he's eaten both. So it's like, I want to know more about that.
I don't know. I think even if you'd never eaten shit in your life, you would, if you had a blindfold on and someone put shit in your mouth, you would know instantly that it's
You wouldn't
shit.
be like, chocolate.
No, you'd go, is
But
that chocolate or shit?
I do appreciate that one line puts this in the Happy Gilmore universe.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? Like a really good way to sum up the movie as well, I think.
Yes.
That should have been a tagline for the film.
Agreed. Could not agree more.
I think that you owe Kevin an apology, incidentally.
I owe everybody an apology.
You do. But particularly Kevin, because when we announced the lineup on Patreon, he mentioned, I've never watched House of Gucci, so now I've got to watch it, thank you.
Okay.
So,
sincerely, Kevin, I apologise.
And what did you think of the film?
Yeah, please.
Maybe he loved it.
I hope so. I hope people get something out of this.
If nothing else, they were all introduced to the idea of a bookend, which I've never seen before.
Yeah, we've got that.
So what's your final score of this movie then?
So the first time I watched it, it was 2 out of 5. On second watch, I think I was feeling a bit, I don't know, maybe I was just feeling a bit rage baity, but I did change it to 4.
That's mad. Yeah.
Masterpiece.
And that's the subjective score, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Sure
as shit, not objective.
Well, I mentioned Driven earlier, and I think I said to you while we were watching it, I was like, this is your Driven, isn't it? Because objectively not a good film. Maybe House of Gucci is objectively a better movie than Driven. That's my objective opinion.
The craft is there for the most part.
I mean, one of them's not a Rennie Harlin movie. So that's got that going for it.
It's a good start.
4, I think. So you enjoy this on like a 4-star kind of, I'm enjoying this film, but it's not very good.
I had a blast watching this. I laughed so much.
And you'll watch it again?
Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't buy it. I'm not insane. But yeah, I could be persuaded to watch this again. Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't be thrilled at the idea of watching it again. I might be more interested if there's a director's cuts are usually longer. If there's a director's cut that's an hour shorter, I'd probably go, yeah, I'd be happy to watch this again.
Except they make the mud bath scene longer.
Yeah, that's the only scene. You've got the bookends. You've got Adam Driver on a bike at the start and the end, and in the middle is just a long mud bath scene.
It's just Lady Gaga and Salma Hayek in a mud bath. Rubbing
each other with mud, yes.
Yeah.
I struggled to score this film. It's a real head scratcher for me. On the one hand, I sort of enjoyed it. On the other hand, I thought it was pretty bad. And I think I'm maybe a 2.5 is going to be my final landing point. It's because it's right in the middle there. I enjoyed some of it. I hated some of it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Just because I have to give it a score and I don't know where else to land. But I don't know, maybe if I did watch this a second time, maybe it would go up to a 4 because I just sort of let loose and go, fuck it, this is insane. Let's just enjoy it and have a glass of wine. Let's blindfold ourselves and make ourselves deaf by blindfolding ourselves.
And do a shit chocolate taste test.
Yeah, and decide whether or not it's shit or chocolate.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Make a themed evening.
Yeah. Oh dear. All right, well, I'm glad it is over now.
I'm surprised that you didn't outright loathe this film.
I sort of did while we were watching it.
Yeah.
I sort of did, and then that bookend scene happened, and and then I've got it, and I understood what the movie was about.
I wish we'd been able to watch it together. Is my only
Yeah,
regret.
I
I think that would
agree.
have been fun.
It would have been fun, definitely. It was a weird experience because I sort of hated it, and then I sort of really enjoyed it. And I was dreading at the length of it when we started watching it. But then when it got to the end, I was like, that actually did shoot by. It didn't drag for me because it did sort of keep moving.
Mm.
And I can't say, honestly, hand on heart, that I hated watching it. I just didn't think it was very good.
Okay. Well, hand on heart, I am going to make a solemn promise to not program in any more Jared Leto films
Thank you.
because I don't know why that kept happening.
Well, it's twice now. This is the second time you've done it.
Yeah, but we've talked about him so much lately, and
I know.
I'm over it. So
I can't imagine. The one other Jared Leto movie I might put in a lineup is Panic Room. I can't imagine what else
not
would
Blade
make
Runner
the cut.
2049.
Oh shit, yeah, but he's barely in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best. You mean the best Blade Runner movie by a country mile? What?
Disagree. And I love Denis Villeneuve, but disagree.
Okay, maybe we should have this conversation on air. Maybe there's a universe where we cover Morbius just for fun.
Oh God, yeah, maybe. Oof. Flop
But
season 2, anyone?
well, yes, season 20. Yeah, okay. So, final thoughts then: piece of shit or piece of chocolate? We're not quite sure.
Well, you think it's a piece of shit. I think it's a piece of chocolate.
Yeah,
And the two shall not be confused.
it's a piece of chit.
Sure.
Right, what we doing? What we doing next then, Sarah?
Well, I don't know because we're recording out of order, so I'm genuinely not sure.
We've got next week. We have to record last week's episode.
Yeah.
So the next one that's actually coming out.
So on the lineup, the next one is the Korean film. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
Yes.
The Korean film, The Chaser. Oh my God. Yeah. Which I'm very excited about because neither of us has seen that.
Yeah. First time watch for both of us.
And
so
we do love a Korean thriller.
We do. It's not our first rodeo with a Korean movie. It's been a while though, isn't it, since we've covered one?
Yeah.
So it'd be good to get into that. Hopefully that lives up to your Korean movies that you've introduced me to, because there's been some absolute bangers.
Yeah, they seldom miss.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen that many, but it feels like that you only show me the good ones, so I'm sure there are some bad ones. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.